Hello and welcome. We are here playing Sunset Kills. This is Sunset Kills Gauntlet Comics Break the Darkness Session 2 of 2. The folks playing here tonight are part of the Gauntlet gaming community. If you want to check out what we do, go ahead and navigate to gauntlet-rpg.com. All kinds of cool games getting organized there. And the particular game we're playing tonight is Sunset Kills by Jesse Ross, a powered by the apocalypse game of modern day monster hunting in the vein of Buffy, Supernatural, Charmed, or Angel. We were playing this game set in the Gauntlet Comics continuity. That is a shared comic book universe, comic book style universe for many of the role-playing games organized over the Gauntlet. Wonderful folks like Rich Rogers and Jim Crocker have run many of these Gauntlet Comics games, and more GMs, including I believe some folks playing in this session, are jumping in to run their own game set in the Gauntlet Comics continuity. So it's a lot of fun. Hopefully the things we're able to bring in are on the level of exciting Easter eggs rather than extremely dense continuity that would make it impossible for a newcomer to climb aboard. I think every session of Gauntlet Comics works well as a pretty good jumping on point, though, and that's certainly my aim. All right, let's meet the players joining us tonight. I'm going to ask us to go in character keeper order and introduce first just yourself, just who you are as a person, your name, your pronouns if you wish, your online handle if you wish, and what excited you about jumping into Sunset Kills. I'll start us off. My name is Alexi, he, him. You can follow all my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So check out at Cloven Pine Games on Twitter or the Cloven Pine Games itch.io store, and you can see games I'm working on running and designing and playing. And I was excited to take Sunset Kills out for a spin. Jesse's a very cool designer, and seeing him try his hand at something, fun and lightweight for telling stories of monster hunting was such a cool opportunity. And putting it in Gauntlet Comics is just what I do because I'm a huge Gauntlet Comics continuity nerd. Folks, going in character keeper order, let's introduce ourselves. Daryl, you're first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daryl, and my pronouns are he, him. You can find my Twitter, which is basically just a journal for my inanities, at Daryl Ross. And it's basically just me hyping up anything that I love, including tabletop, but not limited to that. I wanted to play Sunset Kills because I think, as I said last time, anything supernatural, Buffy, Charmed, kind of like even like down to Vampire Diaries kind of stuff is extremely my bullshit. So I am all about it. And last session was a blast. So I can't wait to get up to even more Buffy shenanigans this time.
Hooray. Good to have you. Eli, you're next.
Hi, I'm Eli. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me online at Eli Seitz, SEITZ. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Itch. Follow me, I've got some things in the pipe coming in the next couple months. And I signed up to play this game because Alexi runs some mean Powered by the Apocalypse, and because it seemed like a really fun setup.
Aw, thank you very much. Good to have you here. Robert, over to you.
Yep, I'm Robert. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at @TheRobertAngus. It's Angus like the beef. And I was very excited to play this game because I always really like Monster of the Week and anything along those same lines. And so far, this is very much exactly what I was looking for. And when I was signing up, a lot of people I've played with before were in this game, and a lot of people I very, very much enjoy playing with were in this game. So good job, everybody, because so far, everything is living up to what I hoped.
Good job, us. Yeah, it's a great crew. And rounding it out, we've got Ferret.
Hello, I am Ferret, also known as Sawyer. I'll answer to either. Pronouns-wise, anything said with respect, I'll answer to. You can find me at Ferretheim, which stands for Realm of Ferrets, because that is adorable and cute. I am the head of Ferretheim Games, which is having some of its products on sale for Thanksgiving on DriveThruRPG, which everything is basically Monster Hearts oriented right now, so more supernatural drama, mystery stuff. And I decided to play this game, like Daryl said, like anything supernatural, Buffy related, like even the B Skinamax schlock of Dante's Cove I've seen. So this has been all the fun, and I get to be a cat. So how can you say no?
Yeah, let's meet these characters. Folks, please reintroduce your your characters so we know who we're seeing on the screen, or rather on the page in the comic we're imagining in our heads. I'll go ahead and share the character keeper for context here. So again, starting from the left, going over towards the right, Daryl, tell us about Damario.
Okay. So I am playing Damario Palomares. His pronouns are he, him as well. His playbook is the Chosen. And so what that means is basically he was fated in some manner to fight the forces of darkness. And his particular expertise is in banishing demons. Damario is basically one of those like sort of orphaned characters. When he was 16, his parents just straight up disappeared, and he has no idea what happens to them. And so he lives with his aunt Ramira, who has basically been like his rock. Personality-wise, if you were able to describe Damario in like one sense of metaphor, he would just be all cold shoulder. He is very much that tortured Buffy trope of like, anyone near me is going to suffer, so I must isolate myself from everyone. That being said, he has been unable to convince the people around him of that. And so he has made friends, as it were, even though he feels like his job is usually just to save them all. Currently, he's very concerned with the fact that his aunt is going to be performing in a dance performance at a certain symphony that may or may not be rooted in some pretty bad demonic activity coming our way soon.
Yeah, we've heard rumblings of the Twilight Orchestra, and then what should be happening but a big gala at the Chanceville Concert Hall that your aunt is very excited to get to dance at, but that you worry about this this kind of symphony being advertised. Mario has gathered in his not quite as lonely as he would like crusade against the forces of darkness. Let's meet Zoe. Eli, tell us a little about your Snoop.
Yes, I am playing Zoe Martinez, everyone's favorite party girl. She is a Snoop in Sunset Kills. She is 100% mortal with no superpowers whatsoever, and absolutely never needs saving from Dario whatsoever, ever. She likes to have a good time and kind of help keep everyone in check and make them all feel alive.
Yeah, that's about right. And when we last saw her, she was heading along with another member of this group to chat with a possibly demonic contact in a bar, I believe.
Yes. Oh, and as I've been reminded by Ferret, her hair was set on fire, and this episode when we see her, she has an undercut on one side of the side that got burned, and we're just going to shave that off. So it looks very cool now.
Very good. Yeah, in this issue of the comic, the artist has switched up the hairstyle to reflect that bit of continuity. Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone really enjoys the continuity there.
Speaking of meeting a demon in a bar, let's move to Zoe's partner in crime there, our occultist Milo. Robert, tell us a little about Milo.
Yeah, so Milo, like you said, is the occultist. To actually read from the playbook, you've read every book you can find on every type of obscure monster, except Milo has read about them in comic books because he is a huge fan of comic books, and that's actually kind of how he taught himself this occult magic, was from an ancient tome that he ordered in an old comic book. He sent away for it, and it came, and hey, why not?
And the tome itself was of a graphic novel type, right? It was a graphic grimoire.
Yes, a graphic novel grimoire. And yeah, when we last left off, Milo was going to meet a demonic contact of some sort in a bar, as you do. Yeah,
and accepted a drink that she sent round. So that's great. Good life decisions here. Very good, very good. Finally, last and again not least, Ferret, will you tell us about Heathcliff the Monstrous?
Yes, Heathcliff, or as his human name is known, Heathcliff B. Katz, because he is very creative, is a Bakineko, a very young one. He discovered how to become human-shaped when he was 7, not 16, so very ahead of the game. And he lives with this woman who provides him with good seafood, nice bedding, and lets him be an indoor-outdoor cat, so it's pretty swanky. And he's also the comic book shop cat and helps defeat nerd rage and nerd arguments. But most importantly, he helps Damario and the others fight demons and shit, which is okay, I guess. I mean, if all things considered, they're pretty nice people. And speaking of nice people, he met Jeb last time, who told him there was this amazing cellist who was on the rise and then just suddenly skyrocketed as if she had made a contract with something evil. Just not very trustworthy.
Yeah, interesting clues that Heathcliff was finding there. Wonderful to meet everybody in our party of monster hunters. Let's check in, I think, back with the pair of characters that were in that bar, sitting down across from a well put together lawyer type, a woman in a black turtleneck with coiffed blonde hair, who is waiting there at the table with the red lamp. So Zoe, Milo, what does it look like as you come over to meet this contact that Milo had arranged to meet with the sort of demon voice in his head back at the park where you rescued some civilians last time around?
Well, I think at this point, Zoe has given Milo at least 1 or 2 shots of tequila, I believe, and now
That's
Milo
true. That's true. I believe you made a roll to do well at taking these shots, and that was a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you able to walk steadily? Does it take obvious effort to walk steadily over to the table?
Yeah, I think Milo is in that stage of where he feels he's feeling good. There's nothing wrong at this point, and yeah, now he's sipping on this drink that presumably the lady at the table sent over. So yeah, I think Milo is walking with his head held high and with some extra swagger in his step.
That's great. Zoe, are you you trying to present a united front with Milo here?
So Zoe was kind of at the bar and then slinks off and is bussing some tables nearby to overhear and basically eavesdrop on the conversation.
Perfect. Got it. So you're not trying to make it look like you're with Milo. You're trying to be kind of relatively inconspicuous in the background here.
Yeah, I'm undercover here.
Perfect. I might have you make a roll for that when and if your cover is threatened by something. Does that work for you?
Yeah, and I might use my curious move at some point.
Remind me how that works.
Yeah, I picked it up right at the end of last session, and it's when you go poking around where you don't belong, roll plus sharp. On a 10+, ask the GM 3 questions, 7 to 9, ask 1. What is my best way in or out? What here is what? Who or what here is not what they seem? What happened here recently? What is the greatest danger to me? Whose turf is this?
Oh yeah, extremely legit. Other mechanical note is everyone should clear their keys. Whatever keys you hit last session, you can uncheck those, and you'll get the chance to hit them again for XP. Try to remind me if I seem to be not noticing a time when you're hitting your keys. Yeah. So, Milo, you take the chair across from the lady here. She smiles. I'm glad you like the drink.
Yeah, it was. It's very good. It's very smooth.
My name is Ms. Osborne Rock, and she like holds out a hand to shake yours.
Yeah, I reach out and shake her hand. Yeah, I'm Milo. You might already know that, I guess.
Indeed. I was asked to meet you here because a client of mine is interested in coming to an arrangement. You see, I'm part of a law firm that deals with extra normal matters here in this city, and so your situation and my clients are of a great deal of interest to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I get this kind of interest a lot. You know, my talents are always, you know, always desired by someone here. You know, do you want to? I don't know. I mean, do you have more detail about what exactly they're looking for?
Interesting. Let me check. Are you trying to like present a kind of more confident front than you really feel, Milo? Like, are you putting anything on here?
I think it's a combination of that and also Milo thinking like, well, I've already got like one group of people I hang out with. Now there's like somebody else interested in me at all. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I've never seen this level of interest.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm happy to have the dice help decide something here. So, we're gonna say that it's a little bit risky to just be chit chatting here with this lady, where some of the risk is just you might get drawn into saying more than you should or promising more than you should. Does that track for you?
Yeah, I think so, and I think a lot of this is Milo just like doing the things that he's always like heard you should do in a conversation like this. Like, he is obviously in way over his head and is just kind of like, yeah, I read in a comic book somewhere that that's the thing you say when you're talking to somebody in a bar. So he's just kind of going at it from that angle. But yeah, I was thinking probably roll plus cool on this.
Yeah, trying to be cool there, Milo. Totally.
And that's a 7.
And what's your cool again?
0.
Okay, cool. So you are going to, yes, 739. You do it, but there's a cost. So you are going to put your best foot forward in this conversation. Like, what's like, what is Milo kind of impressed with himself for as this exchange continues, here at the corner of the speakeasy?
I think he's impressed that he's just holding it together this, reasonably well at this point, and that he hasn't just randomly started, I don't know, rambling about comic books. Like he's had a few drinks, so he's probably at the point where he wants to go on and on about the latest issue of the Great Sardo, and draw parallels to that. So he's just keeping it straight.
You're playing it cool, not bringing in any comic book references at all. Absolutely. Yeah. So she nods and says, "Indeed, you are the man of the hour, it seems. My client, Mr. Barthraxon, is interested in attending a artistic performance here in your neighborhood, but he requires a host to do so."
What, like an escort?
Something like that, she says, as she takes out like the briefcase, puts her briefcase down on the table and starts like unclasping the locks on it. As she says, somebody's got something spooky going on in the background.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, she's working on unclasping the locks of the briefcase. She's saying, if you were willing, Milo, to escort Mr. Barthraxon, there are untapped depths to your own magical powers that he could throw open for you.
I mean, that sounds interesting, but what exactly do I have to do? Just walk with this guy and go see some art?
She takes out from the briefcase what looks like just a little pill. It's a pill that's, I don't know, seems like it's black shot through with purple, and like pushes it across the table towards you, Milo. Zoe, I'd be happy to find out how your snooping is going and have you roll that poke around move. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let me
tell us what the panel looks like. Tell us what the panel of Zoe, surreptitiously investigating things while pretending to wait tables looks like.
Yeah, I think that we get this shot of some like angry customers that are like, someone's trying to get Zoe's attention to like has spilled something or needs napkins or like has dropped a fork, and Zoe is just completely ignoring them. Like, you don't matter here. And instead is just like back turned but very obviously listening intently.
Mm-hmm. So like it's like cleaning like one spot on a table, to a shine, but none of the customers are able to get any actual service. And
then I think that they probably like knock something over and make a mess because I rolled a 3 and I have a +2. I have a +1 sharp, but that's not enough.
This is excellent. What do you think? Do you like knock over a vase of flowers on one of these tables?
Yeah. I don't know if there's flowers because this is kind of more the like nightclub feel.
Oh,
I think that we've got like little candles, and that like manages to knock over someone's like liquor and knock over a candle and start like a small fire on the ground.
I buy it. Yeah, starting a small fire. Interesting. Let me go ahead and say, Zoe, that there's going to be one more consequence to this, I imagine. But I'll let you ask one of these questions anyway. Well, it's it seems like many of these questions could be rolled right into the consequences of your miss.
Yeah. I guess I want to see what or who here is not what they seem. I feel like maybe someone reacts to the fire in a way that I would not expect, and I get some insight from that.
You see a spark from this fire like land right on Ms. Osborne Rock's hand, and she like doesn't react at all. It just sort of absorbs right into her. She does like turn sharply towards where there's now a fire on the floor of this establishment. So are you doing anything to try to put it out?
Yeah, I think like Zoe's notices that and then like turns really quickly and obviously she hasn't seen me spying on her whatsoever, and I'm gonna like run and get the fire extinguisher. We have to have one somewhere around here, and I'm gonna go grab the fire extinguisher, then spray it everywhere and just like paint everyone in white chemicals.
Yeah, you turn, like the customers are definitely starting to freak out a little. I think you turn heading towards the fire extinguisher, and Ramira is already headed over with the fire extinguisher, and she kind of like hisses at you like, "What do you think you're doing, Zoe?" But I think she'll hand you the fire extinguisher if you indicate that's what you want.
Yeah, then I'll take the fire extinguisher and just be like, it's fine, don't worry about it, I got this.
Great. Are you aiming to just contain the fire? Or are you trying to mess up anything going on at this table with Milo and Ms. Osborne Rock as well?
Ooh. Oh, I think I'll put out the fire, but I'm not sad if like I mess up her clothes a little bit. That's fine.
Interesting. Milo. Miss Osborne Rock has taken out this pill, set it on the table, but she's distracted for a moment, just kind of like waving a hand in front of her face as fire extinguisher. Do they shoot foam? Is foam what comes out of them?
No, it's like compressed carbon dioxide in the form of a white chemical.
Yeah.
It stains everything.
Yeah. So as the like fire extinguisher is going off right near her, she's like scooching her chair back and seems distracted for a moment. Milo, I want to know, what do you do?
Yeah, so she's just, I mean, ugh. I think I want to pocket the pill.
just kind of grab it off the table, stick it in your pocket.
Yeah, actually, okay, so yeah, that's what I do is I want to grab the pill and like stick it in my pocket, and then like when she turns to me, I want to pretend like I've just like taken it. So it's in my pocket, but I'm totally making an exaggerated like
gulping gesture. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. That sounds plausibly risky unless you've got a different move that that obtains.
No, this is totally Milo attempting to be smooth.
You okay? You're gonna try to roll with cool again?
Yeah, I think so. It's a 5 this time.
Oh boy. Yeah. So first, mark XP. And if you didn't already, Eli, you should have marked XP for your earlier miss, I realize. Yeah. So you pocket the pill. It feels oddly heavy. It's kind of like pulling. Sorry, I didn't mute in time to cover my sneeze. It's kind of pulling you down. Like, is it in a jacket pocket, pants pocket? Where have you tucked it away?
Yeah, like probably like a inside pocket in my jacket.
Okay, yeah, like near your heart, even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, a weird weight there, but you do your little like pretending to swallow a pill thing, and Ms. Osborne Rock smiles. She says, "See, that wasn't so bad now."
Nope. Now, I'm sure it'll take a little bit for it to take effect. So what am I supposed to do exactly once it kicks in?
She slides a flyer for the Chanceville Concert Hall Centennial Gala across the table to you, and she says, "This is the main event, but stay tuned for Mr. Barthraxon's instructions regarding attendance." Clicks her briefcase closed. "A pleasure doing business with you, Milo," and then like gets up and moves rather hastily out of the place, glancing back once more at the mess that Zoe has made.
Yeah, you too.
Zoe, do Do you approach Milo at this point at all?
Yeah, like once it looks like she's leaving, I'll walk up and sit down in the seat where she was sitting. Well, I think that went well.
So, she gave me drugs.
Sweet. You gonna share?
I don't think they're like party drugs.
What kind of drugs?
Like demon drugs? Well, I guess demons do party, so maybe they're demon party drugs?
You should do them and find out. If you don't want to, I will. I'll take it off your hands.
I mean, do you think it would be cool though? I mean, I don't want to get
Kidding me?
in trouble.
Did you just hear yourself? You said the words demon drugs. That sounds so cool.
I mean, if you think it's a good idea, you know the most about party drugs than anyone I know. So, yeah, okay.
Just to flag it for us, Damario, you have a move for turning up when you're desperately needed. Just want to check in with you. Are you interested in that move at the moment, or not so much?
Yeah, I think that this would probably be a good time to try that out. So we're gonna use our tough roll here.
Yeah. So the move is reliable when you're far from the action and desperately needed. Roll plus tough to see what happens. What have you got?
So that puts it at a 10.
Hey.
So on a 10 plus, you miraculously show up ready to join the fray.
Describe that panel, like, because moments ago, Damario was nowhere to be seen. What's the entrance panel here?
So I think it's actually just like so is like Zoe like about to take the drug is the way I'm kind of picturing this. Yeah, so it's that thing where it's like one panel is like Zoe like tongue out, pill like incoming, and then the next one there's just like a hand reaches in and like grabs her hand and like pulls it away, and then it like upcuts and it's like this like severe upshot of like Damario looking like angry and stressed out, and it's just like breathing heavily, and it's just like Ramira said that you were making a mess, and it looks like you're about to make a bigger one.
Hey, give that back.
He just like snatches it up and he's like, nope, that is a very bad idea, and I don't think that you should do that.
How do you know?
Because it's demon drugs. Why?
I know,
I
right?
don't.
How
What
cool
about
is
that
that?
sounds good? It's like the exact opposite monologue of like what you did. It's like, this is obviously bad. It's probably gonna possess you. Like, why did you even get this?
The lady gave it to me for me to take.
So you were just gonna take stranger drugs, stranger demon drugs. We have classes about this from elementary school.
Well, I mean, it's weird because she was gonna pay me to take the drugs.
And that didn't sound suspicious either.
Well, I mean, a little bit, but it's demons. Of course they're suspicious.
You are all way too innocent. I don't know how you're alive. I don't know how you're alive. And he just kind of like looks down at the pill and is just like, so obviously this is not a thing that someone should take, or at least not anyone that I need to rely on.
Well, okay, look, all she wanted me to do was take it and then go to this, this like symphony thing. There's a big gala, and then she's gonna see if I take it and do what she wants, she's gonna make me more powerful, and then I could be, instead of being like a sidekick, be like a partner.
That's not how you level up. I'm pretty sure that allowing a demon to possess you is not how you become a better superhero, Milo.
Well, I mean, you get powers.
All right, not everyone can be special like you, Damario. Milo over here was just trying to do something for himself, and they had to come in here and just butt your head in, like you always do.
Damario looks all forlorn and is just like, you have no idea what it's like to be special. It's like, if you knew what it was like, you wouldn't want to be special. And then is basically just like, sets the pillow on the table and is like, you know that this is not going to work out for, like, in anyone's best interest. You should just smash it and throw it away right now.
Well, okay, wait. What if we sold it?
Zoe, you definitely know a guy who could move this product.
I know a guy who could move this product.
I'm really concerned that y'all don't know how this hero thing works. You were going to take the demon drugs and now you want to sell the demon drugs.
Well, you told us not to take the demon drugs, and, we could always use a little extra money.
Milo's not wrong.
My college books are really expensive.
Rent is not cheap.
And I always got to get art supplies.
Okay, what if we sold it to someone and kept an eye on them?
Well, I mean, they're just going to take the drugs, so we could just, I could take them and you could just keep an eye on me.
That's true. I'm sure that lady would give you way more money than we would get from selling the pill. Also, if Milo's going to take it, then, like, they could take half and I could take half, and then it wouldn't be as bad, probably.
Yeah,
So-
it wouldn't be as powerful, right?
But then I just picture, like, the demon possessing half of each of you. It'd be like some, like, idle hands thing. Y'all have seen that movie, right? Like I know
You're
it's
just way
called
too much into demon possession. Not everything is demon possession, Damario.
It's kind of why I was born, Zoe. He's just like,
All right.
yeah. He put the pill on the table to do like the kind of like, I'm trusting you to make the right decision kind of thing.
That sounds a little risky. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how much we want to turn to the roles to resolve this at all.
I mean, if we want to resolve and move on, I am okay with Zoe making a risky roll to snatch the pill off the table and swallow it.
Okay, wait.
And what is you believe success looks like? Successfully swallowing the demon pill?
Yes.
Okay. Milo, you had another thought? Just to make sure I hear out all these ideas.
What if we don't take the pill yet? We just go to the event, and I'll pretend like I'm on demon drugs. And then we'll, if we need it later, we shouldn't just destroy it. It's probably worth a lot of money anyway. I assume we want to go to the event anyway, right?
I mean, we're going to go to the event anyway. It's just we could also go to the event on demon drugs.
Damario like rolls his eyes again and like turns to like ask his aunt for like a drink, and is like his attention is turned away.
Yep, I'm making that roll.
All right. You think this is cool? Just to do this fast enough that no one can stop you?
I mean, if you're going to give it to me, I will definitely take cool.
Yeah. Why not? May as well see what will happen here.
Good thing it is, because I rolled a 5, but I have a +2 cool.
Oh, I see. So you're gonna do it, but there's a cost.
Really? There's a cost to doing demon drugs? Please do tell Alexei.
So, so who do you feel like you've betrayed or disappointed by taking the drug, Zoe? Can't hear you, sorry.
The obvious choice is Damario, of course, but I kind of disappoint Damario on a regular basis, so that one's pretty normal. I guess it's more a betrayal of Milo, that like we were kind of like partners in crime there for a little bit, and then it was just like Milo wasn't escalating at the same pace that Zoe escalates, and Zoe kind of left him behind, and I feel a little bad about that.
Yeah. How can the what's the panel we see that tells us Zoe has these mixed feelings as she swallows the pill?
Yeah, I think that like she swallows the pill and like her eyes like the pupils like shrink to like pinpricks, and she like looks at Milo, and then whatever happens is gonna happens.
Yeah. What is what is surprisingly sobering about the way this pill goes down, Zoe?
I think like it feels heavy in the hand, but not once you like get it in your mouth.
Oh, like it's kind of like it's like just excited to be being swallowed by a sentient being.
Yeah, it's just playing games with you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you swallow that pill. Are you intentionally trying? Are you trying to keep Damario from seeing that you've swallowed it while he's distracted?
I think I was like trying to, but depending on how extreme the effects are, that may or may not be possible.
I think you mostly just feel like a little like fuzziness in your extremities from the from that initial swallow. Probably nothing you can't hide if you try. Milo, what do you do anything?
I think I was maybe like a second too. Like I started reaching out for it, and I think Zoe just snatched it up, and so I'm just like sitting there kind of bummed. Like, I was gonna take it and save the day, and then Damario would finally respect me. And I think as soon as Zoe takes it, I just make like, I don't know, like an audible like sound of surprise, like, "Hey, you took it!" And just like I can't believe it.
Damario whips back around and is like, "You did what? It was a test. Zoe, it was a test."
That's great. We'll turn the page there, cutting away from that scene. Heathcliff, I'd love to check in with you because you learned some interesting information in the last scene we saw you in last session. Where does Heathcliff go next upon having heard of this cellist, who might be a suspicious character from Jeb, the Duke of Vermilion Row?
My plan was to go to Damario and tell him about it.
All right, that absolutely makes sense. Are you headed to the speakeasy, or are you planning to meet Damario elsewhere?
Probably the speakeasy.
Still in your human form, or prowling around?
It depends on where he is. Like, I had sort of imagined this to be like him getting ready for bed, and like this cat just pawing at the window.
Do Damario and his aunt live in an apartment above the speakeasy?
That's what I had thought.
Was that established, or how does that sound to you, Damario?
I don't think we're like directly above the speakeasy, but we're in the complex like across the street from it. Because we're not like the owners of it. We're like just she's just the manager.
So let me check. Milo, Zoe, Damario, are you up to say that little conversation around the table probably kind of ended in loggerheads over what should have been done with this pill, and then Damario moves on from there? Do we think that that's like a plausible enough backfill here? Yeah. Then if it's all right with you, Damario, what are you doing when Heathcliff finds you, having hoping to bring some important information to his friend?
So the way I picture it is like total like horror movie scene setting. Like it's like the cat's peering through the window, and then it's like the thing where it's like you see like Damario like walking from the bathroom to the closet in a towel, and then like comes out like pulling on his pajamas and everything, and like all of those like horror movie like slasher cuts, and then it like the camera whips around and it's just Heathcliff in cat form like claws out the window, and like Damario jumps and like pulls out his knife.
Where does he keep his knife when he's in his pajamas? Always nearby, I think.
Always nearby.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. You see Heathcliff at the window, Damario. Do you let him in?
And like sigh of relief, and then like go over and like open the latch and like pull it open so that Heathcliff can like bound in.
Yeah, I think he like does the cat thing where he looks at the door, looks down at the ground, looks up at you, looks at the knife, bounds in.
Heathcliff, what do we see here in Damario's room that Heathcliff shows Damario really needs to lighten up and stop being such a human cold shoulder as we've learned he is?
I think instead of like posters of like good-looking guys or bands or even like a video game stuff, it's like Key of Solomon seals, the Goetia, and it's like, this isn't healthy, dude.
Does that work for you, Damario?
That sounds so like it. It's like maybe even like a little bit murder board, like with some of the strings going here, there, and everywhere.
Like the Key of Solomon is actually like a checklist.
Killed that one, killed that one, killed that one.
Yeah, working your way through.
I think Heathcliff like sniffs around the room, just sort of looks around, and gets on your bed, knocks a sock off on the floor, like that's where it belongs, and just looks as prim and swaggery as a alley cat can, with like one ear half chewed off. And like, I found some information. I think it'll be useful. Oh, you don't mind me like this?
No, by all means. If my aunt comes home, she'll just think I'm more crazy than I already am.
And I think like with that, like he poofs into his human form.
It's like, on second thought, like having a man up in my room is probably also not. It's fine, whatever.
Oh please, she'll probably think that that's good.
She has been asking if I've been seeing anyone. It's getting kind of annoying.
Have you been seeing anyone?
That is none of your business, cat.
Excuse me, I am a cat. Everything I consider my business becomes my business.
So there's this guy in my English. Sorry, you came here to talk about something.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think he mentions the cellist's name, that she's in the NPC folder.
Yes, Olivia is the cellist you heard about, who moved rapidly up from busking on the street to playing classical venues, and there's a sense that she cut some kind of a diabolical deal to make it that far.
And I'll let that drop. It's like, this sounds like it should be tied to that orchestra thing.
And Damario like lets out a heavy sigh, and his shoulders sag down, and he's like, I was worried about that performance. My sister's going to be my aunt is going to be performing as a dancer in that performance, and it came out of the blue, and it seems oddly too close to what we heard about the other night. So,
and you think she's going to embarrass herself, and you've got to stop it.
Ramira is an incredibly good dancer. I'm very happy that she got a performance. I just wish it wasn't for Satan.
Oh, yeah, that does kind of suck. And like this dancing, she keep her clothes on? I've heard of that.
That is burlesque. She is a salsa dancer. Also, burlesque artists are artists in their own right, so nothing wrong with that.
No, Zoe took me to this place where there was like a 3-drink minimum, and the women seemed very sad, but they weren't wearing any clothes. Maybe because it was winter.
They were probably chilly, yes.
Indeed. My fur keeps me from being chilly, but anyway, this cellist seems like it's bad news, and if your aunt is dancing there, we need to protect her. Or get her to not go.
So yeah, about that. It seems like everyone and their cousin is going to this performance. By the way, at the bar earlier tonight, someone tried to pay Milo to take demon drugs, and then Zoe took them for free.
And your humor has gotten really bad.
That's not a joke. I wish it were.
And I think he, like, this is the one time he wishes he had a cell phone so he could text Zoe just a very angry-faced emoji.
Angry cat emoji.
I mean, you could borrow Damario's and add to the group chat.
I don't think he's that savvy. Well, I don't know if he wants to borrow that heavily on Damario for a phone. Yeah, I think Heathcliff gets up, stretches around, is like, well, this is a shit show. We're going to have to watch Zoe, make sure she doesn't start throwing up and spinning her head around. And I can generally smell demons. You want me to keep an eye on her?
That would probably be good, although that's a movie and it might look a little different, so don't be looking for pea soup.
Oh, well, there's a movie about this? I was talking about that time when you were fighting that weird orphan chick who turned out to be that Beelzebub buddy?
Beelzebub, yes. I tried to block that out of my mind. I forgot about that. So, anyway... It's like, let's stay on track. Okay, so the concert is in X amount of days, which I've forgotten.
We didn't establish it. Let's assume in just a handful of days, such that you have time to, do like one more scene or so of preparation, and then we'll probably be getting there, after a bio break in the session.
And it's like, the concert is in just a few days, and honestly, it seems like the entire infernal court is going to show up, which is a little bit more than me and my knife can handle. And he holds up the knife that he's not actually put down the entire time.
I think Heathcliff smiles like, don't worry, you can count on me. Unless things get really hairy, and then you guys are on your own.
Damario just rolls his eyes and is like, if you ditch me, then you're not getting tuna.
You have my claws, sir.
Nice.
And he just reaches out to attempt to pet Heathcliff, and just maybe gets almost clawed and pulls his hand back.
I think this is really awkward. You reach out, just immediately this entire mass of human man is just cuddled up against you.
Be and then he just and then it just immediately zooms out the window. It's with a scream of ah.
All right. Happy to put a button on that scene if you guys are. Do you feel like you got what you needed there? Wonderful. Heathcliff, are you planning to just kind of stalk Zoe then and see if she starts acting possessed?
I think so.
In cat form?
Of course, because that is much more cute.
That works for me. Zoe, where does Heathcliff find you? In that let's say that night or thereafter, if he's following around in cat form, trying to keep an eye on your behavior.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just still tingling at the extremities kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, have you gone to sleep?
Yeah. I mean, if it's just tingling, I'm yeah, whatever. Maybe it's a dud. Just do my normal thing.
Got it. Yeah. So you live also kind of in the Chanceville area. What is Zoe's living situation like?
Yeah, she's got like a small top floor like studio apartment in kind of a shitty building,
I
but
buy,
she's by herself.
I buy it. And Heathcliff, what do you see here that sometimes makes you wonder if Zoe maybe has too much of a life?
I think it's just like the amount of Facebook photos she actually has like on digital frames. And like I think like the frames like have like these old like buttons where you can change what's displayed every day.
Zoe, does that work for you?
Sure, that might be a little rich. I'm not sure if Zoe can afford lots of digital frames, but
Maybe that is to Heathcliff that maybe there's just one frame, like one Google Drive or whatnot, that you just change everything. And for Heathcliff, the idea of having more than one picture is extravagant.
I mean, I could also see like going more old school, like a wall of Polaroids type thing, and the wall just keeps getting bigger. Like in the time that you've known Zoe, that it's just like every time I go back, there's more of them.
It's
Like you've been to 3 concerts.
It's taken over a whole wall when it used to be just a little section.
Yeah.
And this is a hipster part of town we've established, or at least there's a strong hipster element here in Chanceville. So you surely could find a used Polaroid camera. You can't swing a cat without hitting one of those. No offense, Heathcliff. That's awesome. Normal bed, water bed, beanbag chair you pass out in. Where does Zoe sleep?
Yeah, it's like normal twin bed, kind of shitty beat up furniture, like metal bed frame, no headboard. Like she doesn't have that much money, but hangs out, has her pictures. It's mostly just like a bed and a couple like beanbag chairs and salvaged furniture that like the college students leave out when they've gone. So it's got like a crappy coffee table with cigarette burns, that kind of deal.
Absolutely, yeah. So when almost as soon as your head hits the pillow and your eyes close, Zoe, you find yourself in a kind of purpled over landscape. There's sort of the ruins of a Gothic church all around you, and you look eclipse held in the sky with a kind of sickening purple sun shedding its rays all around you. As a voice rumbles, echoing off the shattered stone. What mortal is this? This is not the mage I sought. This is some foolish, mundane interloper.
Well, I guess they did do something after all. And yeah, fuck you too, demon.
Nice. All around you, the stones start to shift, and I think there's like a headless angel statue right nearby you that just like reaches out and closes stony fingers around your neck, Zoe. What do you do?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think I'm gonna mark my bait key.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Is that when you put yourself in a position to get captured?
Yeah, and then I'll try to struggle and break out. And,
Just trying to break free from the stony grasp here.
Yep. I'll use my non-existent tough.
All right. So we're making a risky roll with tough, which is 0.
Mm-hmm. And I got another 3.
Please go ahead and mark 2 harm. And tell us what like noise you make in your sleep that alerts Heathcliff that something wrong is going on here.
Yeah, I think that we got some thrashing around, and then some like gurgly noises.
Heathcliff, you were on the lookout for anything that seemed untoward here. I do not. You've watched enough humans sleep. You've probably watched your humans sleep multiple times just to keep an eye on them. This does not seem normal for Zoe. What do you do?
I think it may be time to tap into some supernatural jank and become terrifying, to extend my senses to see if I can see what's causing this.
Oh, interesting. Let me double check that I'm looking at the right move. So with terrifying, yes, got it. You have to reveal your monstrous form, and one of the options you can choose is supernatural movement or senses. So what do these panels look like in the comic book? You were just a cat on a windowsill, I take it.
I think what it is, like, it'll depend on the role and if I can hide my supernatural nature. Can I check first before I describe?
Give me just a sense of what you're starting to do.
I think he's like jumping in the room.
Uh-huh.
Like he's jumping up the walls, like getting in there, which maybe like through the window, maybe going just like through the porch door,
window,
whatever,
through the wall.
Yeah, like however he can get in there. But he's hopping about trying to do kitty parkour to get inside.
All right, and then roll. Does it specify you have to roll with weird for this one?
Yep.
Roll plus weird. Oh, sorry.
That is an 8, I believe.
Excellent. On an 8, you can choose 2 from this list.
Yeah, I'll have supernatural senses, and I do not attract unwanted attention. So I think he definitely just like cats up there and scoots in through a window.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So you're still, are you still in kind of? You do have to like reveal your monstrous form. So I think you probably don't quite look like a normal house cat at that point, do you?
Oh no, I think like the Bakeneko has 2 tails, so I think there's definitely like a shadow of like the 2 tails splitting and his eyes glowing a deep red glow to extend the senses, like very supernatural weird cat.
Honestly, it's probably like Zoe's thrashing on bed, and then like Heathcliff like appears at the head of the bed as this shadowy cat, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think he was the demon afflicting her, right?
Either that, or maybe he's like on top of her chest if she's not flailing too badly, like trying to drink her breath.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, just like drink a little bit of her breath just to like get a sense of what's going on.
I that is kind of tempting because that's how I feed, and I don't know what's going on. Well, let me ask with my senses. Can I tell what's causing this first?
What do you think those senses are? Do you think you've got like heightened smell to like?
There was this fantasy novel I read where like these people could these certain fox spirits could smell people's occupations, like blacksmiths smelled like an anvil and ash, but demons smelled like hell.
Yeah, a little whiff of brimstone there, I'd say. Probably you can even tell that there's a kind of a very old demon, one kind of buried deep in the nether realms, that has extended a small piece of himself into this world that Zoe has eaten. So you get the sense that she is locked in conflict for her soul with this creature.
Oh, and how could I help with that?
I'll go ahead and say you probably have the sense that if you could get the small piece of the demon out of her, that that might be helpful.
Oh, I know exactly. I start getting the cat zoomies all around the room, but then like it starts getting a bit supernatural as he starts running up the walls, gets on the ceiling, and tries to land directly on her stomach as a very odd Heimlich.
All right. That sounds pretty exciting. Let's make that roll, and then probably we'll take a bio break either way.
I think it's risky with tough or weird. Either way, it's
Yeah. Why don't we see tough? Because it is a you are trying to deal with the supernatural, but via a physical attack here.
Woohoo! That is a 9.
Oh, good. Okay. So that's gonna be something where you do it, but there's a cost. So I think you land right on Zoe's. You're like just like aiming for her stomach, just to kind of indeed do a cat assisted Heimlich. Yeah, you land right there, and she sits bolt upright, and like from her mouth, this massive purple fireball emerges. Uh, and Heathcliff, I think you take 3 harm from the brunt of the fireball hitting you.
Should I roll vital?
If my math is right, you're not quite there yet. But actually, I mean, do you want to roll vital? Should we just
I do.
and have you do it?
I think I do.
All right, Heathcliff, take 4 harm, and let's see how many of those 9 lives you have left. Because indeed, trying to Heimlich out the demon Brathraxen could cost you.
Okay, I got a 10. I will come back with 0 harm. I have been knocked out for just a few minutes, and I'm not in a compromised position. But I do bring something back with me across the veil.
That's great. All right, so for our final panel, what do we see as Heathcliff dies but claws his way back in Zoe's bedroom here?
I think like the fireball hits him, and there's like this thing where he's closing his eyes, then he opens them, and he's in hell, or like in like a hell, and like you see like the Grim Reaper or something like reaching down for him, and he just looks up, nope, and leaps out, like leaps past the guy onto his arm, onto his shoulder, and jumps back into the realm of the living.
I love it. I think these panels are all in a slightly different style. Like either everything gets really like scratchy and Bilson Cavichy, or it's all like done in like a much more kind of cartoonish style than the normal Sunset Kill stuff, where like just the like metaphor for Heathcliff's experience of the afterlife is a much more like Donald Duck newspaper strip style. Does that either of those appeal? All right. Yeah. So we'll pick up again after a bio break with a quickly resurrected Heathcliff and a possibly somewhat chastened Zoe, putting the pieces together here. But let's take 10. I'll see you guys at a minute past the hour, and have a good bio break. Hello, everybody. Are we all back? Excellent. Yeah, I asked in the chat, does this monster hunting team have a name? I see a couple candidates there. We've got Heathcliff and the Monkeys, Zoe and the Specials. There is no team, only Damario. Milo, what do you think the team is called?
I don't think Milo even has an idea for the team because he's just glad that they let him tag along.
Fair. Check in real quick with Zoe and Heathcliff. Zoe, you've woken up from this disturbing nightmare with like your mouth kind of burning a little bit. Feels pretty tingly. Also, there's a distinct smell of burned cat hair in the bedroom here. And Heathcliff, what does the like newly resurrected Heathcliff look like?
I think pretty much like the exact same. I think he doesn't like. This is why he's gotten all mangly. He kind of has some singed fur still, but he looks pretty much the same alley cat wise. Like he doesn't regrow the bitten ear or anything.
Got it. So when every time he dies, he carries some of the marks back with him.
Yeah, he knows that eventually he won't be coming back.
Has he been keeping count? You know, traditionally you get 9 of these, I think.
Oh, he's way past 9. So fuck that.
Yeah, bold new territory where no cat has gone before.
He wasted 9 just pissing off dogs.
Yeah. Okay. So Zoe, you see a slightly singed cat Heathcliff, kind of tumbling off your chest as you sit bolt upright. What do you do?
Heathcliff, what are you doing? What are you doing in my room? Get out!
I was saving your life. You took drugs. Without me, I am hurt, Zoe. I am deeply and emotionally hurt. Do you have any weed on you to ease this pain?
It's in the top drawer of the nightstand, where it always is.
Thank you. And he's not sniffing to make a scene as much as he is to...
And light the candle, too. You smell.
And he's like turns human as he goes through. I think like his hair is still like smoke is curling from his hair. And he lights the candle and just breaks out a bowl for both of them. So, demon drugs.
Yeah, it didn't really do anything. It was more like a telekinetic phone call, except it wasn't looking for me, so it didn't really work.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
I mean, not that much.
It killed me. I saved your life and it killed me.
Yeah? And you broke into my room, so where are you been?
Fair. So, you going to the orchestra?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be there. Besides, I think there's some shit that's going to go down. You know, Damario does like an audience.
I think he then takes a moment and like starts looking around to see if the pill landed anywhere or if it actually came back up as a pill.
That's interesting. I think your impression is that it turned into that ball of purple fire that killed you.
Okay.
Just to check, do we think we're triggering any keys here?
I will. This is a monster getting on drugs. I will trigger, I think it's cursed? Yeah, MC. What would this make me do?
When the monster gets out, you kind of let the Bakaneko side take control. Yeah.
And to give you a hint, they're sort of malicious trickster spirits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's something there, huh? Uh,
I think I'm also gonna check Optimist for
for
this.
looking on the bright side of
Yeah,
your
nothing slows Zoe down.
yeah. I think Heathcliff, you think yeah, you've slunk around enough back alleys to maybe have another idea of where demon drugs like this could be found, and so the monster side of you wants to tell Zoe about that in the hopes that maybe next time she scores some of this she'll share. Does that work for you
Oh,
as a delicious trick?
oh, that's mean. Yeah, that works. I'm marking cursed.
Yeah. What is it? What do you think you say on that front?
I think it's just like you tried too hard. You went for like, you know, emperor level stuff. Start with like an imp, a perversity, a minor thing. There's this guy runs a taco truck, but you ask for the bulgogi special, and he'll know what you mean.
This guy's name is definitely Paco, and he's probably played by Ezra Miller in the film adaptation.
And of course, his truck will the painting on the taco truck will be an homage to Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, Zoe, what do you say?
I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe once this all blows over, we can go get something.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I should leave the room now.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And we turn the page, and I think we see shadows shadows down in the street, kind of coalescing into a form, and it kind of it moves away, but the readers of the comic see little kind of burning red paw prints left in the wake of whatever it is that has crossed back over the veil along with Heathcliff. Milo, I want to check in with you and find out a little about what Milo is up to in the kind of the lead up to the gala. Is he doing anything to prepare?
I think Milo is probably getting dressed in probably his nicest clothes, which still aren't very nice. But trying to at least clean himself up a bit so that he can fit in.
What does that look like?
I think he's probably got. I mean, it's just like a long sleeve polo type shirt and like a long sleeve, like kind of a button up. And I think as far as the pants, he's got some they're like the really long shorts, like capri shorts.
This is his formal attire.
Yeah, that's his formal attire. It's like, well, I can't wear jeans, so I'll wear my long capri shorts with my button up.
Do you swing by the comic store for guidance?
Yeah, I'm thinking that Milo does want to try to do some research and try to find some kind of comic that has anything, any event similar to this.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you go into the comic store, and Jasmine Mansfield, the proprietor, who surely recognizes you and knows you by name from your frequent trips here, says Milo, you're looking dressed up. What's the occasion?
Yeah, I got an invitation to go to the big gala, and I'm dressed to impress.
She's like, you're just missing one thing. Hold on, and like ducks behind the counter, and then like comes up again with a bow tie that's like got scenes from comic books on it. Like it's like a bow tie with like a design of comic book panel art from who's your favorite wizard hero again?
The Great Sardo.
Oh, it's obviously a Great Sardo bow tie. She holds out to you.
Well, I mean, you're just gonna give it to me?
You're a good customer, Milo. I hate to see you be underdressed.
It's my lucky week or something. People are just giving me stuff.
Excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, I will gladly wear this, and if anybody compliments me, I'll make sure to advertise the store and let them know where I got it.
Thanks, Milo. You're a good egg. Can you tie a bow tie?
Probably not. I probably have no idea.
If you seem to be struggling, she will sigh and like come around the counter and help put it on you.
Yeah, I definitely need the help.
Yeah. But then do you turn to the comic books?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm probably looking for like, I think it seems like the older and more obscure comics I go to, like the more they seem to help. So I'm probably digging through the stuff that nobody's touched in a long time.
All the way deep into the back issues. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm picturing that there's like a kind of disused, like a corner of the store where almost no one goes because like you're like delving deep into like black and white horror comics, basically. Yeah, in kind of ratty binding where they like rebound issues that initially went out just as floppies into kind of pseudo trade paperbacks, stack them up way back here, and almost no one comes around. Do you want to roll your studious move?
Yeah, I think so. So that's plus sharp, and I don't get the bonus for any help.
Not at present, I think.
So that is a 9.
All right. You get to ask 2 questions about your predicament.
Gosh.
So you're definitely like stopping as you find issues where it's like where there's some kind of, you're like, oh, that's a symphony, right? You like page back and it's clear there's sort of a an orchestra in black and white in these horror comics, and you're start reading that story more closely to gather more details.
Yeah, I think the first thing that Milo is trying to figure out, and the first thing I'll ask is, are there any like demons that are known for this type of thing? Like doing like demonic possession or demonic summonings or something through, music, like as an orchestra type thing.
Yeah, so the plot of this old comic book issue, which you've decided is prophetic and a magical guide to reality. The plot of this whole comic book issue turns around a cult called the Twilight Orchestra, and this is a cult of crazies in league with demons, hoping to perform a grand symphony that will sing humanity to sleep. And there's like a splash page with like names of a bunch of different demons, but for some reason your eyes fall on Stratoverminus, the kind of demon that seems to be possessing a cello in this comic.
Okay, and then with that, I think Milo is trying to read through these back issues and find like if these demons did make an offer to a human and the human turned them down, like is there any or the human did not follow through with the bargain. Like,
Mhm.
what are the consequences of that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's an old horror comic, so it always ends with a nasty twist, right? So I think like the end of this comic is you see, a protagonist who thought they'd successfully fooled the demon and, gotten something from the demon without having to hold up their end. They are kind of uh, they like just like a letter slides under their door and they pick it up and like in like big text on the front of the envelope is breach of contract, and as they like stare at it in horror, the like world like swirls around them and the next shot shows them kind of like running bruised and battered through what looks like some kind of terrifying underworld.
Yeah, I like that. And I think as Milo is going through these old comics, like he's probably taking a break every issue or so. And he's like picking up his phone to send a text. And so he'll like start texting Damario like, hey, I'm really sorry about the other day. I let Zoe have that pill and it's my fault and I hope we're still cool. And then like he just like deletes the whole thing and puts his phone back down and goes back
Oh
to
no.
reading.
So he never actually sends that to Damario?
Yeah, I think he's just constantly sitting there, like writing, like half writing a text to Damario and then constantly deleting it, and maybe even doing the same thing with Zoe. Like just stupid things like, hey, if that ever happens again, do you think it would be cool if I took the pill? And just like, delete. No, she'll think that's lame.
Yeah, and like unnoticed by Milo, but during the sequence, there's like a little sound effect of like the bring-a-ling sound of someone coming into the comic store, and then as you're like deleting the text again, you there's someone suddenly there in this back section of the comic store where nobody comes, and she says, "Oh, sorry, I I never see other people back here. I can come back another time. It's no problem."
I mean, no, it's okay. I was probably just finishing up anyway, and I mean, there's room for more than one person. I don't own this place or anything.
Yeah, so it's a young woman with kind of brown hair that's dyed blonde on the end. She just has a sort of nervous affect, and she like points timidly at the bound collection you're holding. Are you done with that? There's something I wanted to look for in there
I mean,
for
yeah,
comic book normal comic book nerd reasons.
yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I was reading it too. I mean, yeah, you can
Yeah,
read
why
it.
else would anyone need to read these?
Or I mean, if you have questions, I just read it, so I could probably just sum it up for you real quick.
Milo, what are you trying to do here?
I think I'm trying to figure out. I guess get some sense, just like poking like these little questions of, get some sense of, maybe what it is she's actually looking for in these issues.
Yeah. I will have you roll with sharp to do that, because I think it's I'll tell you. Milo might not be cognizant of risk, but it's possible that someone coming back here interested in the same occult comics that Milo is might have other things up her sleeve. So please roll plus sharp, a risky roll here.
It's 7.
Okay, nice. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you wanted to like just ask a few questions to hear a little bit about what's drawn her into this.
Yeah, like I think maybe there's an issue where it's probably the issue that gave me the biggest clue, but like to a comic book fan, it's kind of a lame issue and it's kind of boring. So I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh, really? Like, are you sure you want this one? I mean, it's pretty lame.
Yeah, and she's like flipping like furiously forward to the end of the issue, right? That same those same panels we saw of the character, being slapped with a breach of contract by their demonic patron, and she gets to that and just bursts into tears.
I mean, I thought it was kind of a crummy ending too, but I mean, are you okay? It's just a comic book. I mean,
she hugs you and says, "I've made a terrible, terrible mistake," and just buries her head in your shoulder.
Okay. And I think he reaches around and just kind of slowly pats her on the back. I don't even know your name, but I'm sure it's gonna be okay. I mean, I know people that make mistakes all the time, and I make mistake. We all make mistakes, but it should be okay. I mean, it can't be that bad.
She says, "My name's Olivia. Do you really mean it? Do you think
Yeah.
you think it can't be that bad?
Yeah, it can't be that bad.
Will you help me?"
Well, I mean, I have a gala that I'm gonna be heading to, but
She starts crying again as you mention the gala.
well, I mean, what exactly do you need me to help with?
She looks back over her shoulder to where the proprietor of the comic store is kind of looking contemplatively at the large cello case that has been set up, kind of leaning against the desk over there. This woman brought it with her and left it at the front of the store. And she whispers like she's trying to not be overheard by someone or something in that direction. I'm supposed to play this song, and I think really bad things will happen. But if I don't, they're gonna own my soul forever.
Well, I mean, okay, that's a lot. Maybe you could just trick them. That's what I do. Whenever I'm in trouble like that, I just I just trick them. So maybe you played the song, but just
You've
play part of it wrong.
You've tricked demons?
Yeah, from time to time, just once or twice.
She kind of nods slowly. She's like, "I guess that's what I'll have to do. Come with me," and grabs your hand and starts heading out of the comic shop. What do you do, Milo?
I just go ahead and go with her. Yeah.
She picks up that she grabs that cello case, drags it with her out of there. Jasmine gives you a big smile and a thumbs up as you're headed out of the comic store.
Yeah, I give her a thumbs up back. And yeah, I think I turn to her and do that and tighten the tie a little bit. Yeah, the tie, it works.
Excellent. All right, cutting away from that for a moment, Damario, anything that we see you doing in preparation for the gala?
So I think it's one of those things where you see my room with all of its occult wallpaper, and I've kind of I'm standing in front of the full-length mirror in the closet, and you see me straightening a perfectly tied bow tie as I'm wearing a very, very nice suit that seems like it's way too expensive for someone who lives in an apartment across the street from a bar to own. And then Ramiro walks in wearing a ball gown and then straightens my already perfectly straight tie. And it's just one of those things where she's it's you'd better finish up. We're almost we're gonna be late. And then he waves to her, and then it's that thing where it's as soon as she's gone, he pulls open his coat and puts the dagger inside.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So then so then yeah, the two of you are arriving at this gala. Of course, she's coming a little bit ahead of time, right, for her call. There's going to be a number of acts, interspersed with more socializing, because of course it's all the fancy bigwigs are coming here, and paying marked up prices for drinks so that the concert hall can raise money for its next season, right? There's a metal detector and a security guard at the front entrance to the concert hall, Damario. What do you do?
I just have like this vision of like he does this like totally like he attempts to do this like totally smooth like mission like now you see me kind of thing where like he like tosses the knife up in the air as he like bungles into the security guard, like spins them around, and then like so sorry, and then like behind his back catches the knife. At least that's how he wants to play it in his head.
Please mark Thrill Seeker. I think if you feel that's legit,
Yeah.
and take your XP, and roll with cool.
All right, let's see. And my cool is a +1. And let's
You
hope.
get cool.
Let's see. Oh, it's an 8. Whew.
Okay, you do it. Security guard, absolutely none the wiser. But I think like there's a panel that shows like Ramirez's eyes go wide, with like the silver knife reflected in them, and so like through it as like you're like in the crowd, and she and she was going to head away to the dressing room, right, and kind of get set. She like catches up to you instead tomorrow, and she's like, what was that about? What you have grandma's knife?
And he like tries to play it off. He's like Ramira, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you sure you're not just nervous for the show?
Mario, I am not stupid. I can tell when you're not being straight with me.
Yeah. So he like looks a little bit stricken, and like he just kind of like puts a hand to his breast pocket and says, there are things that it's just better if you don't know, Ramira. Don't worry about it. I'm just taking care of what my family's always what our family's always taking care of.
Ooh. Do you walk away at that point? I don't think like she does not look satisfied with that explanation.
No, not at all. So, I'm like, I see that she's like opening her mouth as like ready to like tell me off or something like that, and I just go, "It's for your own good," and then I turn away and I walk away. And yeah, I would say that this is monster hunting is my burden alone.
Yeah, or devoted, right? Where when you put your normal life on hold due to the hunt. So either of those keys, extremely legit. Tell me which one you're going to mark.
I think I'm going to take martyr, just because like that's very much like the self-sacrificing kind of thing. And then that's my 3rd XP actually. So I'm just going to also let you know what my advancement is. I'm going to take commanding, which is when I enter a dangerous situation with flair.
Good to know we've got that on deck. All right, let me check in. Heathcliff, you have received the distinct impression that untoward things might be going down at this gala. Are you making an effort to attend, and in which form?
I am definitely attending. I would not miss this. I have no idea what a gala is, but it sounds impressive.
Yeah, there's lots of people wearing lots of shiny things here.
Well, I think like the like how Damario had that little like getting together scene. Like we see Heathcliff going into like this very upper class, probably not in Chanceville, clothing store.
Okay, elsewhere in the city.
Yeah, and then he gets like this, very form-fitting suit on, goes to the in the dressing room, then turns to a cat and drags it through the vents.
Sure.
And that way, so he doesn't have to pay for it, and is wearing that when he gets into the event, the gala.
Yeah, just rolls up at the gala in his fancy stolen suit. Yeah, you probably. I bet you see you see kind of uh, we'll say that you got a description of Olivia the cellist at some point, right? Since you first learned about her, so you definitely see her kind of rushing among people, saying, "Excuse me, I've got to get to the orchestra tune-up room," and she's dragging Milo along by the hand as she does so.
Aha! This can be only one thing. Cat to the rescue. Milo! You have a date! That's amazing! For you!
Are you yelling this like across the crowded room at the two of them, or have you like popped up behind them to say this?
I think I popped up, and if I can, I want to have popped up in front of them.
Yeah, sure, why not?
But I am saying this so the bystanders can hear.
Milo.
I mean, I don't know if I would call it a date. I mean, Olivia, would you call it a date? I mean, it doesn't have to be a date.
Of course, a date. I mean, she's well dressed. For you, you're well dressed. We're at this fancy event. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, let me go back with you. I can do your hair for you better.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine. And Olivia's really busy, and we need to head back. And
I have to tune up, and she's like dragging the cello along and like gesturing desperately for Milo to come with her.
And I think I'll bend down and smile. It's like, Olivia, do you need help?
A single tear kind of like trickles down her cheek, making some mascara run, and she like rubs it away quickly.
Whatever Milo has told you he's done, I've done 3 times over. Trust me, I can help. Let's go.
Interesting. I think this might call for a move unless Milo is like specifically vouching for you. So she looks over at Milo. Milo, what do you do?
Yeah, I think Milo would say, yeah, I mean, before when I said I can fix these kinds of problems, I mean, Heathcliff is usually kind of the cause of them, so he's not all. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of right.
I get into everything.
Yeah, she. You know what? Heathcliff, make a risk roll here. It sounds like it might be cool.
I was gonna say it definitely sounds like cool.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that like some of the risk here is you're trying to like get through to Olivia without alerting any other forces that might be present at the gala to what you're up to.
Oh, I hope it's what I dragged across the veil, because that's a 5.
Oh boy. So mark an XP.
Woo.
And like Heathcliff, what happens when you're in your human form, but something startles the cat in you?
Oh, I try to look bigger and I hiss and snarl.
Yeah, there's this low growl that you hear like reverberating through the room, and it triggers your kind of cat defense reflex like nobody's business.
Yeah, so I think Heathcliff does the Nick Cage from the vampire movie, where he just lifts his coat up like he's trying to be a bear, pulling the sleeves way high over him, doing the Batman pose.
Olivia is startled, like grabs Milo's hand and just runs away from you, Heathcliff. And yeah, that you heard that growl. If you turn and look around the room, you'll see like a man in a suit walking along who's got like a service dog with him on in the sort of leash holder thing that you'd expect, but like it's like you have like slight double vision, and you can sort of see underneath the form of this dog a much more frightening beast, and the man as nothing more than a little smoke screen it drags along with it for cover.
Oh dear, I need Damario.
Yep.
And those bacon wrapped shrimp. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Zoe, I want to check in with you. You had plans to come to this gala.
Yeah.
What does that look like? How do you arrive, and in what state?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that the hangover from the demon pill is nothing that I haven't had before, because it didn't get good.
Like you. I think your throat feels pretty messed up from it still, and you feel like maybe something broke deep inside you, in like maybe your soul. Hard to tell.
It was a long time ago, but yeah, I think that Zoe shows up to the gala wearing the dress and my new character portrait, and is just there to have a good time and back up Damario when things inevitably go down.
Important to back up Damario. So kind of a shimmery silver dress you've got. Yeah, with your stylish undercut as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably spot Damario like striding moodily away from his aunt. Do you approach him?
Yeah. I'll like swagger up to him, be like, "No demons yet."
And just like looks at you and is just like, "You seem fine. How was your demon drug trip?"
That was fine.
Was it worth it?
I mean, it wasn't that great. I've had better things.
It just does like that, and then it's just all like, so I heard someone yelling that Milo got a date. Also, I don't know how Milo got invited, but he's here. So
it does the squint to your grimace. That this is a played out routine that they've done many times.
Mm-hmm.
And then that immediately fades the second you're like, Milo got a date. It's like, wait, really? Is she cute? Are they cute? Have you seen them? What do you think?
I haven't seen them yet. I just I had an awkward chat with my aunt, and I was about to go find them.
Oh, honey. Okay, we should go find them and clear that out.
Yeah, I'm worried he's like not dressed for the occasion. Like maybe he's wearing like cargo shorts or something.
Yeah, he's not wearing like a tuxedo t-shirt or anything, right?
Isn't he?
I mean, I can see it, but I hope not.
And they're just like, well, might as well go find out. And then I think that's when we hear like the kind of racket like happening with Heathcliff.
Yeah, Heathcliff, are you just trying to like squeeze your way through the crowd, keeping a little bit ahead of this beast on your tail?
Oh, definitely. And just like, excuse me, grab one order of, excuse me.
Yeah, there's like a bark, and like to you, it's like it shakes the whole room, but nobody else seems to be reacting to it, and kind of you like glance back over your shoulder. The just people just seem to be like totally casually and unconsciously getting out of the way of this man and his guide dog, with the dog sort of clearly intensely focused on you, and just like, moving forward at at speed, with the crowd just parting before it.
Yeah, can I see Damario and Zoe?
Interesting question. You take it. I mean, are you pausing to scan the crowd and find them?
Probably not. I think he's just trying to get away at the moment.
Okay. Tell me how you do that, and what does that look like? That attempt.
I think this is he's seen humans in activities before, and like how certain ones, like in certain situations, have to act a certain way. So he's going to start acting like a slob and a jerk to try and get people to move out of the way, or at least start a scene. So other people will come to get him.
Are you like grabbing someone's drink out of their hand, or like clearly like hitting on the date that someone's brought with them? Like how are you being boorish here in this crowd?
I think I will like go up to the woman or the person in the nicest clothes, like take a drink off the tray, and say, that's beautiful. Reality TV show.
Just I see. Just like you find this like elegant elderly lady in her mink stole and gray dress and
actually I think he probably would be pausing to look for Damario. I think he'd known that Damario and his aunt were coming. They probably would have to be here. So yeah, I'll just be riskily looking around for help from people I know are reliable instead of trying to start a scene. He's not that dumb of a cat.
Okay, so the panels of him causing a distraction with the drink, those were all just like scenarios in his head before he decides to go this way. This way. Let's go ahead, and that sounds like it might be with Sharp.
Yeah.
All right, make a risky roll with Sharp if you would.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You spot a clear path towards Damario and Zoe. What does it look like as you burst in upon them?
Yeah, I think. How tall is Damario?
I bet he's probably like 6'2" or something. Like he stands a little bit taller than those around him, but like not too much taller. It's usually just like the extra like 3 inches of hair because he's got like that stupid big pompadour on his head.
So I think Heathcliff is just looking up at Damario and just like looks like that sad face, cat in distress.
While still in human form.
Yeah.
And I stopped mid-sentence what I was saying to Zoe, and I look at it, I was like, is that Heathcliff in Gucci?
So where do you think he stole that from?
Not anywhere in Chanceville, that's for sure. Also, why does he look so sad?
Something must be wrong. Should probably check it out.
Yeah.
And like Damario, you have trained to fight against all things hellish. So I think as like a dog makes a break for Heathcliff, you can almost see the sort of second image of the larger hellhound that is lurking under the form of this service dog. What do you do?
Well, let's see. I guess this is I want to see if how this might play out, but like this might be an ideal time to do commanding, which is when I enter a dangerous situation with flair.
It is a dangerous situation. Yeah, tell me what do you roll for that one?
I roll my cool, which is not even like my strongest trait, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, tell me a little about how Damario enters the scene.
I think it's one of those things where it's like it's very crowded, and whereas like Heathcliff was kind of like jostling and like kind of like trying to get through the crowd like very nervously, like somehow Damario just like manages to cut straight through the crowd like in a way that like doesn't like move anyone's drinks or like seem like he's like doing anything like ungracefully, and he just kind of swoops around and like grabs at like the harness on this like quote unquote seeing eye hellhound and like tries to like yank it up and around and like set it back in front of the man so that it's like, you know, like kind of like, oh, your dog got away from you here, and then but also like very much like dead eyeing like whatever demon is possessing him.
Fascinating. Okay, we're gonna have you roll plus cool for that.
All right, let's see. It's a 6.
And there's no like +1 really from something previously or anything like that, right?
No, I don't have anything like that right now.
All right. Go ahead and mark experience. And yeah. You tried to like just grab this creature by the handles, is that right? You know, it's still like seems intent on Heathcliff, but you feel teeth closing around your wrist. Take 2 harm, and I think you realize that there are more heads on this thing than are apparent to mortal eyes. Zoe, Damario has leapt into the fray. You probably see a kind of you see like a little like wound just blossom on his arm. With no apparent cause, as the dog is still like straining towards Heathcliff. What do you do?
I think it's time for me to use my curious move and try to get a handle of what's going on here.
Yeah. So what do you see as of Zoe investigating? Is it just like quick panels of your eyes darting all over the place, or are you doing more than snoop around?
I think that's basically just like looking around. That like Damario always leaps into action the first time, like the second you see the demon. But as we saw the other night, demons don't usually come in ones, so helps to find the other ones.
All right. What are you rolling with? Is this a sharp roll?
It is indeed a sharp roll. Okay.
Did you roll a 3 there?
I don't know if it rolled a 3 because that's my like third 3 in a row.
You want to delete the dice and get a new pair here?
Yeah, I think
will
so.
Be merciful.
Couldn't even tell if they actually rolled. Okay, delete selected. All right, that's an 8.
Okay, and do you have anything in sharp?
I have 1 in sharp.
Okay,
So that's a 9.
You ask just 2. Do you get 2 questions or just 1 question?
Just 1.
Yeah. So ask me a question there from your curious list. What are you trying to ascertain here?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, what here is the greatest danger to me?
Ooh, good question. You're looking around the room. You see Damario and Heathcliff starting to mix it up with the Hellhound, but you also hear from a kind of different corner of the concert hall where they've set up a. I think for this gala, right, we're seeing people like mingling all through the just the sort of the fancy entrance area, right, with the chandeliers and the other beloved but hard to maintain decorations of this center, but you see some kind of ushers starting to draw people over to one of the music performance venues in the hall, where there's a sign, advertising a string quartet performance of something called the Twilight Symphony, and remembering maybe like something you heard Milo mention about a comic, and something that Damario or Heathcliff had dropped after their interrogation of that demon the other night. You just get a really bad feeling about the Twilight Symphony, and it feels like this hellhound is a distraction at best from the most important mission of the evening. Does that work for you as an answer?
Yes, it does.
What do you do after noticing that?
Yeah. So, what is the setup? Like, do we have music stands? Like, they're going to put out sheet music out, or?
Yeah, if you're heading towards more of the place where folks are being kind of gathered for the symphony.
Yeah.
I think you'd see that there's a kind of a bit of a stage with some music stands, and maybe some musicians already starting to tune up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I need to go make some bold moves, and I think I'm gonna walk up to the stage and basically try to convince probably like the concertmaster, whoever's there in semi-authority figure, that like the score has been changed and we need to like make some marks and change what's going to be played.
I'm sure there's a conductor present.
So I'd like glance at things, like get the name of the composer and be like, I'm his personal assistant and he has some very important changes before the performance.
So the conductor is a like well-dressed, older man. Definitely would be played by Mads Mikkelsen in the movie version. And he raises an eyebrow as you start saying this, and he says, Hubert von Twensenstein has made some changes to the piece at the last minute.
In this new arrangement, yes.
That would very much surprise me, given that he's been dead for a century and a half.
Well, that's why it's the arrangement, not the original composition. You have to understand, it's dealing with the acoustics here.
So just wildly BSing your way here.
Yeah, yup. Absolutely.
Go ahead and make a risky roll on this, I think. Probably this is with cool, I guess. Unless you think there's something else that applies.
Oh no, I'm ready to roll cool.
I see you've bumped your cool up to a +3.
Well, when you roll enough threes, you get to do that. And I rolled boxcars.
Wow. Okay, tell me what you do that brings round the skeptical conductor.
Yeah,
to your claim that a long dead musician has made important changes to the arrangement of the piece they're going to be performing.
I think that he gets skeptical and thinks that I'm fucking with him and tries to do the gatekeepy, tell me about this composer or whatever, and that so he works at the bar and doesn't do that much, but goes to parties and really enjoys music, including music of all genres, and she just styles on him. She just everything that he starts asking about, she knows.
Just drops a bunch of factoids about classical composers.
Exactly, and it's he's well, I mean, and just all the steam starts leaving his face. He just realizes maybe she's right. I don't know. I'm confused. I guess we'll just go along with this.
What is it that you have you like snatched some random other sheet music to hand to him, or are you asking to like see his sheet music and like make little changes in pencil?
No, like we're because all the music is like out on the stand, so we're like we're penciling in like extra rests and stuff. We're just like messing up everything. That it's gonna sound real weird, but it won't be whatever they planned it to be.
Fascinating. All right. I love that. Let's check. Let's check in with Milo. Milo, Olivia has like pulled you back to kind of the wings, right, of this performance venue. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's kind of like taking a couple deep breaths, kind of facing the big cello case, and she like turns to you and she says, "Okay, now tell me the plan one more time. What are you doing to help Trick?" And then she like basically just like nods, nervously towards the cello case.
Yeah. Well, did you practice the song?
She says, they told me I could only practice it in short chunks. I had to break up all the movements, or else the effect would take place immediately.
Yeah, so, just maybe do it different. Like when you get to a certain part, just freestyle a little bit. And then if anything happens, I'll take care of it. That's what I'm here for. I've got your back.
I see. Yeah, she grabs your hand. She says, "Thank you, Milo. I knew I could trust you." And then like reaches out, undoes the latches on the cello case, swings it open, and it's like it is I think a striking instrument. It is kind of reddish wood, like it's been dyed with just a little bit of blood. Just like really, really sharp lines everywhere for a cello. And like as she pulls it out of the case, like a single one of the strings kind of vibrates a little. And Milo, you in particular, I think feel like something kind of deep in your gut, like vibrating along with that cello string. But like she's kind of taking it and bringing it out to the stage, and there's just like a last desperate glance back at you, and then like you notice the cello string like vibrates once more, and her head snaps back, and she's suddenly like laser focused on the instrument, and sitting down and beginning to tune up. Do you do anything else there?
I think I go over and I start like making small talk with her while she's tuning up, like just trying to get some humanity through to her, like just like keeping her letting her do her thing, but also kind of keeping her sort of distracted.
The conductor is definitely saying, all right, musicians only on the stage now. That means your friend there, Olivia. I'll have you roll with Risky to try to make this make this human connection here. Tell me what stat do you think you're using?
I mean, it's probably cool.
I see that you've added a dot to cool. Is that right?
Yeah, I did take my advancement.
It's amazing what a bow tie will do for you.
Yeah, this is probably the coolest week of Milo's entire life. So that's an 8.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna succeed, but there's a cost. So let me let me think. Yeah, I think. Do you even like reach out and touch her shoulder or something? Just trying to help her not kind of lose herself in the music.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Absolutely. You do that. You see her eyes soften a little. She kind of like glances back up, like blinking a couple times, like she's not sure what's just been happening. But then you also hear some strings playing. It takes you a moment to realize it's not her. It's not any of the other musicians on the stage. You're hearing the sound of stringed instruments coming from inside your own head, Milo. And at that point, the conductor kind of, just like politely but firmly, puts a hand on your shoulder and like guides you off the stage.
Yeah, I guess I let him take me off the stage, but I turn back to Olivia. I'm like, yeah, don't worry. Just like we talked about, you've got this. You can do it.
All right. So the conductor introduces the piece and like mentions that some new additions, specifically to bring the full experience of the Twilight Symphony here to this smaller venue have been recently added, and kind of there's a murmur from the musicians as they hear this, and he kind of like gives them a "it'll be fine" gesture as he gets ready to start conducting it. Zoe, where are you? Have you taken a seat in the front row of the audience, or?
No, I think Zoe now having like ingratiated herself and is like in like the wing just around like the curtain, just like gives a big thumbs up to the conductor, like, you're doing good. This is what is appropriate.
Great. All right, we turn the page from that. Heathcliff, you found your friends. Oh, goody! But now Damario seems to have a big a big chomp. Something's taken a big bite of him as he starts grappling with your foe here. What do? You can see all this going down.
Are there still people around us?
Oh yeah, there's people around. I think some of them like turned in confusion as Damario strode in, and then they mostly don't seem to be paying that much attention at this point.
I think it's time. I mean, it's attacking my friend. It's okay if my friend attacks it. The opposite is not okay. So it showed me a brand new trick that maybe I can mimic of being myself but not being seen, like it. So I want to try being terrifying and appear as my between self forms of the more feral beast man anthropomorphic kind of cat form.
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
get attention and away from Damario. So Damario can go handle this orchestral nonsense.
Okay, so you're going like werecat to try to get it to just get away from Damario and free him up for his business. Yeah.
And I'm trying to use my trickster powers to make it so like I'm going werecat, so only it and Damario can see me doing this. So trying to be terrifying.
Oh, fascinating. So like it's a sort of subtle terrifying where only those in the know see what you're doing.
Well, and like if I fail, no, I've gone complete cat in front of everyone.
Yeah, go ahead and roll plus weird for your terrifying move here.
Oh, whew. I got an 8.
All right. On an 8, you get to pick 2 from this list.
My next attack will deal +1 harm. I don't attract unwanted attention.
Now so you don't attract unwanted attention, but there is attention you do want to attract, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you go like subtly werecat, like basically like holding sort of the illusion of your human form in front of the eyes of the ignorant here. But for Damario, there's suddenly a werecat, and for this creature on you, Damario, there appears to be a werecat because it releases you and charges after Heathcliff. Heathcliff, what do you do? Are you trying to lead it away on a merry chase?
I think what Heathcliff does for like just keep up the illusion is bend down like the dog is coming to sniff him. He's going to scratch under its chin, but then like have his claws just extend out under its head.
So just you're like pretending to scratch it, but actually you're like just claw stabbing it.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah. Roll a risky attack with Talon, I think.
So I get to do that with advantage. So I will borrow the left Damario dice today, since the last time the other one always failed me.
And do you think this is probably plus tough, or do you think the situation merits a different stat?
I think it's tough because of trying to get the claws in to do enough damage. And that is a 10.
Ooh. Yeah. And does Talon also... Talon doesn't say like extra harm. It just says
I get extra harm from the terrified that I just did, but that's it.
Okay, so that's two harm right there, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like you kind of you stab this thing right with your claws, and you feel like one of its spectral hellhound heads just go dead. And then the kind of visible dog head is like limp and glassy eyed for a moment, and then kind of it like blinks like weakly, like a different one of its spectral heads just kind of slotted into place as the primary one, and it growls at you. Abomination, death will have you. One day, you can't slink away from his domains forever. And then it combusts.
What could you know? You turned it into fire. Wise people don't burn. And I will walk over to Damario, like try to dust him off a bit. You okay? Thanks.
I'm like looking around to see if anybody just noticed a dog burst into ash, and I'm just like, and like it doesn't seem like anybody's like quite responding. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. And he like pulls a handkerchief out of his pocket and like wraps it around his hand, and like you can see it like already starting to spot with blood, but like it's in that like movie way where it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, totally.
Lick that.
No, I'm good. I've got some peroxide back home. It's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, peroxide's amazing.
Heathcliff probably like when the creature disappeared, like two little seals fell into your hand. So if you want to pass those on to Damario, you can, or hang on to them for your own use. Up to you.
I don't collect things except for suits.
Yeah, Damario, are you turning toward? Oh yeah, Damario, I bet that that your aunt's dance is about to start. But also you hear the orchestra beginning to play over where there's the sign for the Twilight Symphony.
Yeah, I think like I'm like very torn, and then I'm like, it's like I know that my aunt, this means so much to her, but I have a duty to rid the world of evil, whether I want to or not. So when I put my normal life on hold due to the hunt, I'm showing how devoted I am to my cause, and that's one of my keys.
Okay, so like, what do we? Is there like a panel where we see her dance is starting, and she's like looking out into the audience to like the conspicuously empty seat where Damario isn't, right?
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so instead you're headed over towards the symphony area.
Yeah, and I do that thing again where I'm like weaving in and out of like the people who are still like walking around, and like I've kind of like drawn my knife and like have it like tucked up against my wrist so that like no one can really see it. But I'm like afraid because I don't know what's happened with Zoe. I don't know what's happened with Milo. So
yeah. So let's paint the scene musically here. Milo, the symphony begins, and it is beautiful, but in a way that's somehow disturbing and disquieting. Tell me a little bit about the experience of of listening to the Twilight Symphony or this version of it as it begins.
I think it starts off like it's your it almost starts off like a traditional classic piece of music, but then there's like these just random like pieces where there's just like a note or something that it seems out of place. It definitely seems out of place, but it almost kind of like does sound right, if that makes any sense. Like it still sounds like music, but it's like a very non-traditional classical music.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zoe, with your additions and emendations, how have you kind of thrown off the experience of the experience of the symphony for both the musicians and the audience?
Well, let's put it this way. No one saw that key change coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say that, as they enter, the like second movement here, there's this kind of ominous rumble, and for a second, it feels like there's a sort of electric buzz in the air, and then that dissipates. There's like a weird, you've added like a weird rest, and so like everyone like stops for a moment and then like start up again, and that feeling isn't there at all. But as they like hit another passage, people in the audience start screaming, and Zoe, you look out and you see that it's raining frogs inside, and people are like ducking and running for cover, and the conductor doesn't seem to notice. He's focused on the piece, like kind of shaking his head like how rude of the audience to interrupt, and is just kind of continuing to conduct as frogs start raining down on the crowd. Damario, you probably are like turning up around this time, and observing people starting to flee. What do you do?
Well, obviously I've made the 2 + 2 = 4 very serious calculations that it's the song, and so I'm going to attempt to run up to the stage and disrupt the performance.
Ooh, how are you doing that?
So basically what I think the best way to do this would actually be to the best way to do this would be like many orchestral performances, a piano is like very, very like valuable and probably the centerpiece of the entire thing. So
sure, yeah, we've got a pianist tinkling away on the ivories.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to try to I didn't think this one through.
Are you going to like push the piano off stage?
I think I need to just like ruin some of the chords. Zoe, were you saying something?
No, Zoe's just backstage like, if it's just frogs, it's fine. Stop causing a scene.
So, yeah, I think that like what I kind of feel like I need to do is like, I think that's probably the better idea. It's like I'm gonna find a fire, like a fire alarm, and like pull it.
Yeah. So now in addition to frogs, there's the sprinkler system going. um, the audience is running. The performers on stage seem like caught up in the piece. Milo, you feel that reverberation, still kind of like echoing in your mind, and you start to like detect a voice in it, and the voice is telling you that you could complete this spell, and your own power would grow beyond your imaginings if you did so.
I mean, is it saying how it wants me to complete the spell?
Uh, the your eyes fall on, oh, what's the like musical instrument just kind of like sitting in the corner here unplayed at the moment.
I mean, it could go really lame and say it's like a triangle.
Yeah, absolutely. Your eyes fall on the triangle, and you like just see kind of like spiraling out from it this whole sacred geometry, right? Where like the triangle is just like a single, triangular shape in a like network of ley lines that you as a wizard are suddenly able to see, and the kind of musical voice in your head is calling you to strike the triangle and complete the spell.
So is this like a full-on, like, it's definitely talking to me? Like, is this a communication or just like a message just to me? Like, I mean, can I
Interesting.
like talk back?
You can certainly try. What do you say?
I more or less want to mentally agree to completing the spell, but Olivia goes free.
An interesting thing to offer. Um, would you say that you're accepting aid from a dangerous entity beyond your control?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You hear a chord of ascent, and you maybe even like see Olivia like kind of like drop her cello bow and like take a deep breath, like she's coming up from out from under something.
Yeah, and I pick up the triangle and run out on stage and start playing.
Zoe, what do you do? Milo
Oh
Milo has charged the stage with the triangle.
no. Oh, Milo. Milo, you can't. I had it all under control, and now I have to try to tackle you.
You're just tackling Milo.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. It's that time of the night where we have the two non-physically adept characters have to fight.
Do you think that maybe this is foolhardy?
Yeah, I could buy that.
Let's have you roll plus cool with your foolhardy move.
Oh yeah, very good. I rolled a 6, but I have a +3 cool.
Amazing. So you get to pick one. You get to pick one, but take one harm, and we'll like talk through what the harm might be, I guess. Where you choose, distraction, grab something without being caught, help someone get free. Which one are you picking?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna distraction. It's just like if we're tussling, then Milo can't play, and the song only lasts so long. Like he needs to play when the song is going, or it's not gonna work.
Yeah. So like, what does this like tussle look like? Are you just like launch yourself at him, and like now you're trying to like keep him from being able to like bring the like little
I mean,
to the triangle?
Zoe is not physically impressive and is wearing heels, so like this is not an impressive like run up to go into this. It's pretty bad, but I can't imagine that Milo is very like was not mentally prepared for this and is not like physically prepared to fight off someone who's like trying to wrestle a triangle out of their hands.
Yeah, and I think you probably have just the better positioning anyway. So it's like even if neither of us are very strong, like maybe you knock me on my stomach or something.
Yeah, and I definitely think that like it is very plausible that Zoe gets like an elbow in the face during this and has like a bloody nose.
Oh, sure. And I think you also feel like some kind of a like almost electric shock run through you when you touch the triangle or touch near the triangle. Go ahead and take 1 harm. And yeah, you've got that bloody nose going on. Heathcliff, you're seeing the chaos of this scene. Audience fleeing, frogs surging, band playing on, Milo with the triangle tackled by Zoe. What do you do?
Well, this date has gotten really weird for Milo. I guess I better go check on him for everyone. I think like Heathcliff's still in like the Bakeneko werecat form, but like
Right.
but still disguised as a human. And
Yeah.
But he's more able to like to just push people past him as they're running past him. And
Totally.
He gets to the stage and I think he's going to start like just getting on the stage and start cutting the strings of some instruments.
Yeah, just start slicing up these instruments. Most of them.
Wait, Olivia's not playing her cello anymore. I'm going for that damn cello.
Yeah. Maybe you slice some other strings along the way, but like in those cases the like musicians are confused but the instruments do nothing. But as you like round on the cello, it's like it's staring back at you out of the sort of the dark spots cut out of the wood of the instrument, and like the like red is like pulsing as you charge in. Tell me what that attack on the cello looks like.
I think he launches himself at it, and the people who can see through the disguise see him going into normal cat form as he just attacks it like it's a demonic scratching post.
Okay, Heathcliff versus cello. Rolling plus tough, you think? A risky roll here?
Sounds like it.
I guess with advantage because of your claws?
I believe so. I will roll the right Damario die as well. I mean the left on the screen. Oh, good. That is a 9.
All right. You start slicing up that cello, and its strings, its strings are kind of, actually we've got you're in your cat form as far as we can tell. Its strings are tough, but like with your claws, some of them start to snap, and like as they snap, they like spiral out and slash at you, Heathcliff. So like the like and right, Milo made a deal for Olivia to be let go. So I think like the cello just sort of like starts like just like leans forward of its own accord as she like slumps back exhausted, and the cello is like advancing on you, Heathcliff. Kind of snapped strings spiraling everywhere. Take 2 harm.
Okay.
Damario, you can see this madhouse scene going down on stage. You probably also see like that the like frogs are kind of surging and converging in the back of the auditorium. What do you do?
So do I kind of get a sense of like where the big bad is here? Like, what are the frogs like clumping up and like becoming something, or are they just kind of like all going in the same direction?
Oh, interesting question. You want to assess where your skills are going to be most needed here.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it might be a risky roll with sharp, because you don't want to get the wrong have the wrong priorities at this point, right?
My sharp, which is like a flat 0. Let's find out how this is gonna go. It's a 3.
Oh, Damario. Oh, my friend. Yeah, as you're looking back and forth. This is an absurd scene, right? You came here to kill demons, and you found yourself fighting with a guide dog, and now your friends are dealing with just a pile of frogs and an angry cello, and you are kind of at a loss, right? Which direction you're supposed to go here. And I think you've got that silver knife. I think you feel it. You feel it drawing you towards the cello, and that must be what you have to do. But like as you're doing that, you like catch sight of your reflection in the knife blade, and I think you see like your father and your mother's face looking out at you from the knife. You don't know what that means, but something twists a little inside you. That doesn't need to be a harm. That can just be a little psychological thorn there. Nonetheless, the cello and Heathcliff, the pile that is Milo and Zoe in the triangle. Damario, what do you do?
Well, I think that the cello obviously seems to be like the big bat, like the thing that is like mostly opening the door. It's like the music is only doing so much. It's like this thing seems to be imbued with something. So I'm gonna Buffy run my way over to the cello and then jump through the air and then stab that silver knife into what I think is a demonic cello. So
all right, in that case, you might be able to roll.
Mm-hmm. And so that's with tough, which is the thing that I leveled up when I last leveled up. So I have 3 tough now. So let's see how this goes. It's not going to be helpful if I get another 3. 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got an 8.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
And what's your low die there is a 1, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, just where are you stabbing? Where are you aiming here?
Okay. So I think
you pick one from the list also.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that what I'm gonna do is like kind of like jumps up and like lands and then like brings the knife like horizontally across like as this thing is kind of standing up, and I'm slicing off like the top part of the scroll.
Yeah.
Where the pegs are like keeping the strings tied to it, so that like I just want to like, if not cut straight through it, like hack through at least a couple of the strings.
Just an attempted decapitation of this cello.
Pretty much, yeah. And then the other thing that I'm gonna pick is that it's the last episode. I'm gonna go ahead and take the harm. So I'm gonna put my enemy right where I want them, and it's gonna like the cello will like wobble and then like start to tip, and then like the spoke that keeps it kind of like anchored to the floor is gonna like skip into like across like the water and then like into like a hole in the floor, so it's stuck.
Great. Yeah. So you have pinned this cello. It is trapped and stuck. I think what happens is you're like cutting short. Somehow the like song was continuing, right? Despite no one playing the cello and despite several of its strings being broken. But as you decapitate it, the song is cut short with a sort of awful screech. So like the harm is just like auditory, that like something in this song was is angry at you for cutting it off. Take 1 harm for that, and yeah, you've kind of trapped this cello. It is stuck in the midst of the stage. Milo, you hear in your head, a call to abandon the song and save the instrument.
No, I agreed to just play some music. I didn't agree to save an instrument.
Yeah, it's just like shrieky, shrieky strings in your head, but it seems whatever it is seems impotent at the moment. Are you still struggling against Zoe?
I don't think so. I think I've given up the triangle. I think
Just
it's
like let it drop.
Yeah, like it's gotten away from us. Like we were just kind of fighting over it anyway, so it's gotten away from us. And it's like a scene on a TV show or something where there's a gun and two people are fighting to get to it, but in this case it's a triangle.
In this case it's a triangle. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I think we're probably wrapping up, and we'll go to epilogues in just a moment. But I want to know, without even a roll, what's like the last thing we see then? How do you dispose of how does the assembled group here? What was it? Heathcliff and the monkeys, or Zoe and friends, or just Damario? How does this group finish off this evil cello, noting that the audience has fled? The conductor is probably like nonplussed and like sitting with his head in his hands. Olivia seems like just like relieved to be feeling freedom, and like the pile of frogs are all gone, but that's probably fine. Surely nothing's going on there.
Heathcliff has a what he considers an ironic thing. If he wants to donate the wood so it becomes different holy symbols.
So you just smash up the cello and like turn the piece of wood into crosses and stars and crescents.
Yeah, because I don't think it can burn. We shouldn't burn it. That might be what it wants.
I think that's fine. Like you maybe see like Damario with a piece, and he just takes a silver knife and he starts like whittling it down. Like...
Yeah, absolutely. Milo, Zoe, do we see any last things from you here at the gala?
I think Milo probably has his arm around Olivia or something, and
Yeah,
is like, comforting her. Like, see, I hate to say I told you so, but it's okay, right?
Yeah, and like you're like saying that as like Heathcliff is working on smashing the cello, and like one of the strings breaks, and like you feel the twang of the string in yourself as you're saying it's all okay. Zoe
is sitting off to the side with like a towel or a bunch of things, like trying to stop the bleeding from her nose from where Milo elbowed her, and she's just got this face that's just like, would have been fine, and then y'all had to fuck it all up.
All right, I think we're coming to the end of this issue. Let's see little epilogues for each character. Just what's the last few panels that the readers get, hinting at further adventures or reflecting back on what's gone down this time around. Damario first.
So I think you see like Damario like a couple of weeks later, like walking down like an alley at like twilight or something like that, and there's like a silhouette behind him, and he like does this like sneaky thing where he like goes up a fire escape and then like lands behind him and like puts his knife up against this person's back, and then like the camera or like the panel zooms out, and it's like the dude from his English class looking like this, and then Damario looking like incredibly embarrassed, like, oh no.
oh Damario, you poor stoic fool. When will you ever be able to follow your heart? That's wonderful. Zoe.
Yeah, I think we just like a flash cut of a couple things, like Zoe back putting herself together, Zoe at the bar, Zoe going out, and then Zoe going home later that night and downloads like Sibelius or Finale and starts writing some music.
Aw, I love it. That's great. So wholesome. Milo, what do we see?
I think Milo kind of, is living a somewhat normal life. I mean, still doing, obviously, still fighting demons from time to time. But I think he's begun to see Olivia. And I think there's a scene where, like, maybe he goes, they're first just kind of maybe, I guess, dating. And he goes to pick her up or something. Or they're going to go out to the speakeasy together or something. And so, she answers the door and is like, "Oh yeah, just a second." And Milo's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll just wait." And there's like a scene of Milo waiting outside the door, and he just starts humming a song, and it's very, very, very much similar to the song that the demon was trying to trick him into playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of stuck in his head.
And the audience can tell because the musical notes are like printed in musical notation, with bars and everything. Yeah. I love it. Heathcliff.
I think you see Heathcliff outside outside the comic store as the cat form, playing a squeaky toy with the 3 puppies, and as that demon dog that has been somewhere. I think it gets by, and all 3 puppies begin barking at it, and Heathcliff hisses at it. It gets nervous and runs away, and Heathcliff begins purring and grooming the puppies because they're becoming more like him, and maybe he can teach the dogs to do the same thing he does one day.
They are good boys. All right. That's Sunset Kills, everybody. Thanks for playing. Thanks for hanging out here in the Gauntlet Comics universe, telling this story of monster hunting. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. But for anyone watching, thanks for hanging out, and just say no to demon drugs.